right, let's do this. Item number 10. So, let me do a reality check here. Let me just point a discussion with the board, if I may. The most urgent item in front of us is the draft budget. And the reason is that we need to submit it to the city this month, and with the full understanding that we will go back and make changes whichever way we want as a board, but we need something on the books that the city can release the money. So that's the most critical item that we have on here. If we do not do it, I will be forced to call a special meeting just to do that. And so I'd rather not do that. And so, without objection, I would like to move item 15. And, I'm sorry, where are we? Sorry, I apologize, 16. And have that item addressed now. Okay. And I apologize for candidates, but we need to clear that out of the way. Okay, the packet that we have, and that was included in the email, and the packet with the agenda for everybody, includes in it all the paperwork that were required to submit as part of this submittal to the city. So let me get to it. I'm sorry? Yeah, there is one copy up there that we have for anyone who wants to take a look at something that they haven't looked at. But we only made one copy per the rules, and I'm hoping that everybody had a chance to either print what they wanted or at least have it on an electronic form that they can look at. Okay. Board members, do you all have at least the start of the form, which starts on the strategic plan? Correct. It's in here, Becky, if you maybe... They're organized by the motion, so it would be after the invoices from, yeah, right after those. Couple, there you go. Everybody printed theirs now. Yeah. All right. Just to let you know, the structure that's in here, this is the city's structure, so I simply filled in as much as I could. Based on what we had. So, and I worked with Andrew on some of the budget numbers and with David. So again, this is, I tried to clarify it as much as I could to the board. This is not what our budget distribution is going to be. This is a placeholder for the purpose of submittal only. But to that end, we have it in front of us. We have some time to go through it, discuss it. Anybody wants to make a point about it. Ultimately, I need a vote to approve it for submittal. So if there are modifications, we'll approve it with modifications. So if we can take the time and go through that. The strategic plan, the way it's written again as a placeholder, it is frankly focused more on the community, both from community improvements as much as we can, and community beautification and outreach to people. And if you look at the budget distribution under the big budget line items, you'll sort of see that reflected there. Neighborhood improvements at 13,000 and outreach at 13,000. Operations is about 9,000. This is based on the detail of the breakdown on the following pages, but that's where those numbers come from. So on the back side of that strategic plan is the summary of the budget. And then after that is individual monthly values for each of these items. So to the extent that we had an operational expense that was known, I tried to reflect that in here based on the knowledge that we have. And then we looked, for example, to things that are related to outreach. I just listed them as outreach events 1 and 2. And we'll define those, whichever, just to be able to allocate some budget. So, community improvements, I have 2 single items on different months of the year, and we'll redefine that whichever way we redefine it and distribute. So that's basically what I had in here. There's also other forms related to a survey and as well as a self-assessment. But I would imagine there would be more interest in discussions on the budget and items in there, so the floor is open.
The only thing I recommend, because I know the tone of what Dunn wants to do is outreach, 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 outreach. So instead of putting neighborhood improvements, because when we do something like a buy a park bench or something, we put our name on it and it's considered outreach in that bucket of money. So if you move about 10 grand from the neighborhood improvements and call it outreach, Dunn will be happy.
Okay, but I mean, with all due respect, we're obligated to follow the rules and follow proper procedures. Every community sets its own priorities. That's how the system is done, and I'm sure Dunn respects that autonomy that it has given to individual neighborhood councils.
Did we spend $13,000 on community projects last year? Do you think? Well,
I don't know, but I've never used that as a measure to do anything in the future. So
where did you get the number of that? I guess
it is based on the breakdown that is in there.
No, but I'm just.
Somebody mentioned, I think Becky mentioned, could we use some of our funds to improve the Argo Scientific, which is currently only in somebody's backyard, about this far apart, and would that be considered a neighborhood improvement?
Let me, and again, the distribution is,
No, it can be all changed, but I didn't know why 13, because it sounds like a lot.
because it's better than 12.
Okay, so it's just a number.
It's a number.
Okay,
It's a number that merely reflects 2 priorities.
I got it.
Community improvement and outreach. We want to have those to represent the bulk of our expenditures,
Got it.
and that's what is reflected in here. That's as far as it goes.
That's all I wanted to know. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, because last year, we didn't have a gas leak, so I get it. Thank you.
Comments, any thoughts, suggestions? Yes, Becky.
Okay, these are monthly expenditures, and so are we paying, it says here, more communications, 10,500 a month?
No, what you're looking at is the annual. The one after it is the monthly, the one on the next page. That, what you see there, is the annual number.
Because I see that the e-glass are $576, is that for the month or for the year? And is that the one call now is 96?
Let me put my spectacles
I
on.
know, it says 96, is that $96
Yeah.
or one call? It says one call now is the goal.
That is correct. That is the monthly. That is the monthly number for that, you're right.
So we pay $96 a month?
That is the 1,000-minute, well, yes and no, so we're trying to figure that out. But the invoice that they sent us at the last time we communicated with them was, to be exact, $93 for those 1,000 minutes. The problem is, I don't know if the 1,000 minutes is enough for the call that we make, and maybe that's what the problem is when you could not make the call. So we're trying to figure that out.
Okay.
But the problem is, we haven't paid them, so right now we're shut down.
Okay, and Mel knows a lot about that, because he said that he be a person that can help us with that.
Okay.
That's my name. I'm sorry.
Huh?
Yes, I.
Okay.
So these are estimates when they're adjustable, right?
They're not estimates, they're based on one invoice that we received from them for that month.
Yeah.
So I repeated it.
Excuse me, the entire budget is just an estimation.
No, I know.
Nothing about it is in stone. This will be discussed much further at the retreat,
Okay,
and we need to get this in
let's get it
to
done.
move the process along.
But you didn't answer Becky's question. She said, are we really spending $10,500 a month?
He answered it.
No, that's
It's a
an
year.
annual.
Okay, because it says monthly, so I just want to be clear.
And, okay. Wendy's worth every penny of it, don't get me wrong.
No, but it just seems like
Yeah.
there's no way we could support that because
So
we don't get $120,000 a year.
That is, this spreadsheet is automatically linked, so it populates the spreadsheet from the detailed sheet, so maybe there's an error somewhere, I don't know, but I will clarify that.
You'll see
And
the
we'll clarify
spreadsheet.
that.
You'll see the spreadsheet flips out to the 37,000 annual total.
And then I have a question, it's item number 4, goals, increase the number of stakeholder reach by 1,000. What does that mean?
It's about, when we send out emails, how many people are on our list, distribution list, and Don always has the interest in increasing the number of people we reach in our e-blasts, and that's the intent of this. So it's to bring more people into our email distribution list.
So if we want to get 1,000 more people.
like at fairs and
Yes.
stuff.
Okay,
Yes.
Right now, we're at about 1,500.
No,
3,800.
3,800.
You'll see it on a subsequent page. We have a tally.
Call one said it was 50. For the longest time, it's been, we've only been sitting at 15.
anyway.
The number I got from Wendy,
I think she's late.
okay, the number I got from Wendy was specifically that about 3,300 as of July 2015, as of June 2016, we're at 3,880.
When I spoke to call one, they told me what they.
That's different. This is the e-blast. This is the email distribution. This is the constant contact service. The email distribution, yeah. Okay, what else?
Can I call for the vote?
If there's no more points of discussion and we're satisfied with this as a placeholder, I'm just trying to ask if there's anything point here. Okay, public comment, and I should have done it backwards. I'm still getting used to the idea of reversing it, sorry. Public comment on the budget, please. If you can step up to the mic.
Glenn Bailey, just clarification, you're voting on all 4 components in one motion?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. But I wanted to comment on the self-assessment. I understand the circumstance which you came to this board, but I do think that you should fill in the left-hand column where it indicates the budget categories, because that information is known. I don't think it should be left blank. That's on the self-assessment.
Got it.
Yeah.
And also the amount is incorrect. The total for last fiscal year was $42,000. So my suggestion is just, it's a factual thing. It's not something you're making a decision on, basically. You're just reporting the facts of what the 5 budget categories were totaling 42,000 on the left-hand column. It's okay to say on the right that it's unknown, although you really would get that from your June MER, June 2006. Okay, all right, so that's fine then. That's a good reason to leave it unknown. But the other is known because the board did approve a budget. The budget numbers are on one of your previous MERs at some point, whenever the last one was.
So if you pull any of them out?
If they were filled out properly, yes, on page 2 of your MER, it would list the budget for totaling the 42,000. If you don't have it, I have it.
It's a good,
and
it's
I
a
can
good
send it.
suggestion, and I think we will add it. Thank you, I appreciate that.
Thanks, Glenn.
Did you just say you have the MERs?
No,
He has the budget.
I have the budget.
Okay, so I thought you said, mentioned MER, and you said I have it. So I
He
wasn't-
had the budget.
Okay, got it.
No, I haven't.
As you can tell, Glenn, it's a sensitive topic.
You have the MER.
We've been trying. We've been trying. Any other comments on the budget, please? Okay.
I call for the vote.
All right. Can I have a motion to approve the forms with the modification that Mr. Bailey mentioned of adding the budgeted amounts that total to 42,000 for last year's self-assessment?
I move to vote with Glenn's amendment.
I'll second that.
Gabriel, second. Any other discussion? Let's call for a vote. Oh.
Please.
All right.
All right, Sherry,
Yes?
Susan,
Yes.
Jennifer,
Yes.
Mel,
Yes.
Alex, David,
Yes.
Andrew. Yes. Becky,
Yes.
Gabriel, yes. Hassan,
Yes.
and yes.
Thank you. We made up. Okay. All right, I'd like to circle back to item 10 with regards to discussion and election of stakeholder to fill vacant at-large board member position. At this point, we have 7 applications. I'm sorry? Yeah. We have 7 applications that were received by the board, and they are attached in the packet here. And saying each applicant present. How many applicants are here? 3, 4? All right, we'll stay with 2 minutes each, so let's, and then we'll have 2 minutes of questions from the board, and we'll move on to a vote. Mr. Assad, would you like to step up to the mic? I'm sorry, am I supposed to do something? Yes. Let's see. 2 minutes.
Good evening, everybody, members of the board, stakeholders, and neighbors. I'm Asad Al-Najjar. I'm a resident of City of Los Angeles for 33 years, the last 13 in Porter Ranch. And I work for the City of Los Angeles Public Works for the past 27 years as an expert in design, build, and construct projects. Most of my projects were in the transit arena and in the construction of the traffic system. The latest project was the train to the ocean and the widening of the I-405. During my work, I brought to Porter Ranch the first installation in the city of Los Angeles and the west coast of the LED lights. Plus the past 9 years I've been spending in the research for the solar panels installation that you see on Corbin, Cessnin, and Porter Ranch Drive installed on the street lights. My total city installation almost 500. citywide. Out of these 500, 100 is in Porter Ranch. Also, I'm looking into turbines. I haven't found any in the past 6 years that are sufficient enough. I have locations for them, but I don't have the units. I'm one of the city experts in LEED and in sustainability, and I work for the past 27 years dealing with all the council 15, all council office. I work directly under mayor direction for the emergency, and that goes back from the days of Mayor Hahn up to date. I'm a certified city cert, as you see in my certificate here. And I've done thousands of trainings for fire, for bomb threats, for terrorist handling and all that, and thank God I didn't need to do anything of it. I believe I'll bring a lot to the board, and I'll be part of the team, if elected, I'll be part of the team that will serve your needs and be the bridge to the officials in the city, state, and the whole federal. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we sit down, any questions from Mr. Assad? We'll do the presentation in about 2 minutes after the show.
The question I always have is, do you really have enough time to devote to the Port Ranch Neighborhood Council? That's a good 20 to 70% of your time.
Yes, I'm close to my retirement, so I have plenty of time. Plus, I have a lot of efforts and a lot of, let's say, budget items that can enhance beyond the approved budget. There is a lot of programs, unfortunately, we're not tapping into, like the Great Streets. Yesterday, the mayor's office authorized me to spend $2 million, and I'm trying to capture some of it for Rinaldi. This is an enhancement that all the neighborhood councils have to compete for. My work at the city right now is no more in the design and all that, and it's more of serving the constituents. And yes, I'll be serving you guys.
When do you retire?
February 2020. Yes, David.
Okay. My question would be, same that I'll pose for all the candidates. Where do you see your position on this board? What committee would you want to be involved with, or chair?
Chair, I would like to be next to Susan on the sustainability, and the one I would chair that will deals with the traffic issues and the handling of a lot of the problems we have on the streets. And that will come in even handy when we finalize in the planning on the design of the new village. So a lot of my expertise really is handling in the traffic. From committee-wise, if my time allows, I would like to be involved in every single one.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I have two questions. One, what improvements would you make to Rinaldi?
Okay, if we go through the Great Streets initiative, it's limited in the scope. So basically we could add and enhance on the existing street light poles by adding our own medallion that represents our neighborhood. And the other thing is adding a lot of like furniture for it, modifying the street lights to include the free Wi-Fi for the public. That is something I'm working with Mitch's office on Reseda. And plus some other enhancement on increasing the solar bus stops. I installed the first solar bus stop on the corner of Porter Ranch and Rinaldi. So we could do the same. I have a conceptual design that I gave to Mayor Garcetti last week, where the panel is on the top. It's okay,
Yeah.
time out.
Okay,
Yeah.
specific in an answer,
Yeah,
so she can
okay,
have-
just one other question. If you were on our board, would there be a conflict of interest?
Not at this stage, because, and I checked into that with
You've
the,
got things for Porter Ranch, would that be a conflict with your job?
no, because I'm part of a team of engineers, and the way we do it, and the way I do it, it's always that each council gets the same share. And even like my new program that I inherited last week is to deal with banners for neighborhood councils. And the way the budget is designed, it's really whatever the neighborhood council, up to the maximum money, they spend it the way they want. So from my perspective, I'm an engineer. I have nothing to do with politics or decision making. Whatever comes in, I approve the design. So if that helps you, I can guide you through where you should apply.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, board members and neighbors. Pleasure to see you this evening. My name is David Lasher, and as Mrs. Milberg noted earlier, I am a former Marine. I believe I would be the only Marine on the board, the only veteran on the board were to be appointed. You know, Mel's son's a Marine, and that's a laudable thing. That's great. As a Marine, I held a high-level security clearance. This and the fact that I'm currently a notary speak to ethics and integrity, and I think ethics and integrity are important in any public position, including this board. More specific to this position, I earned a master's degree in public administration from USC, and I've worked in local government assisting residents and businesses since 2001. I'm also a former firefighter, EMT, and a CERT trainer. I didn't train him, but I could have. Like you, I'm concerned about Port Ranch's health, its health with respect to the blowout, but also with regard to a number of public safety and quality of life issues. My home was ransacked last September by Crip gang members who just absolutely destroyed our house, one of approximately 50 burglaries in Port Ranch in the last few years. That's critical to me. I would also hope to work on issues facing Port Ranch, as I noted in the last couple times I've spoken in my campaign statement. And I would add that I've completed ethics and financial training required of the position, and I've also taken further classes as every local government employee is required to do statewide. I'm also involved in the American Legion and the Sons of American Revolution, but those activities take very little bit of my time, and I had the time to devote to this position. And I appreciate your consideration. Best luck to their candidates, and I'd be happy to answer your questions.
Thank you. All right, questions from Mr. Marshall? Go ahead, please. Same question. Where do you see your position on this board?
Any number of committees, but specifically public safety and budget and finance especially. These are my experiences in local government for many years.
Are you working right now?
Not now, no.
What schools do your children attend?
So now they are in Porter Ranch, Patrick Henry Middle School and in Granada Hills, but they attended Castle Bay from start to finish. We moved here when they were 2 and 3 and went to starter set preschool and then on to Castle Bay. So they've graduated out of Castle Bay.
Okay.
But they're still in LUSD, and we live in Porter Ranch, just north of Rinaldi, off Reseda.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.